This is M7 January 2020, paper 2, question 15. So if we have a look at this question, first part says, the sketch above shows part of the graph of the quadratic function, y is equal to minus x squared plus 4x minus 3. And then part A says, write down the coordinates of the point where the graph will cut the y-axis. So you can't really use the graph to do this because the graph would continue on down here if we just go over this, and that's where it would cut y-axis, but you can't use your graph. The graph just there for a wee reference for you, but it's not really particularly useful. So where you cross the y-axis, if you imagine I cross the y-axis here, my x value is 0. So question, I guess, really what they want you to do is put x equal to 0. So put x equal to 0. So that means into this, we're going to replace all the x's, we're going to replace with 0. So it's y is equal to minus 0 squared plus 4 times 0 minus 3. So that's y is equal to minus 3. So it says, very importantly, the question says, write down the coordinates. So, write down the coordinates. So the coordinates are x equals 0 and y equals minus 3. So it's a 1 mark question. So if you just written down y equals minus 3, you would get nothing for it, which seems quite harsh. The next part of the question says, work out the coordinates of the highest point on the graph. Okay, the highest point on the graph, that's quite a tricky question. We've got y is equal to, our graph is, remember, is y is equal to minus x squared plus 4x minus 3. Now what we're going to have to use is the symmetrical properties of quadratics. So it's quite a tricky question because they're saying that you understand that they are going to be symmetrical. So if you draw a line down here, you can see this part is symmetrical with this part in a quadratic graph. So from 1 to this middle bit, whatever it is, to 3 back to that middle bit, it will be the same distance. So you have to think, what number is halfway between 1 and 3? So how you do that, halfway between 1 and 3, is you add 1, you add 3, and then you divide by 2. So 1 plus 3 is 4, and divide by 2 gives you 2. So if we go back up here, that means if I get rid of this line, that means this bit here would be 2. So the coordinate of this middle point then, for only 1 mark, the coordinate of this highest point, you've got the x value, you now need to find the corresponding y value. So I'm going to just say highest point, what we worked out so far, highest point is when x is equal to 2. So we're going to put that into our equation. Our equation, remember, was y is equal to minus x squared plus 4x minus 3. So y is equal to minus 2 squared plus 4 times 2 minus 3. It's a calculator exam, so you can do that in one go on your calculator. I haven't got my calculator here, so I'm just going to do it out the long way. So it's going to be minus 4 plus 8 minus 3. Minus 4 minus another 3 is minus 7, and 8 minus 7 is 1. So your answer for only 1 mark, which is ridiculous, is 2, 1. All right, and just to check here, I've got the mark scheme down below. Yep, 0, 3, that's what we had, wasn't it? And 2, 1. So there you go. That is very hard. I'd imagine why they've only given 1 mark for each of those is they're expecting so few people to get them. So you're doing all that work just to get 1 mark, but at the same time, if you don't get it, you've only lost 1 mark.